Hey guys, Sam from Manfa's Makes. How are you all? Welcome back to all my returners and hi to any newbies. It is so great to have you here. Please do stick around a while. And if you like what you see, give me a thumbie. They are free. So, Crochet Catch-Up is back. Woohoo! It has taken quite a long break. In fact, shall we quickly see how long of a break it has taken? I've got my phone here. Should have done this before I click the camera on. But as you know, Manfa isn't a professional and she will never be one. It's okay. Here we are. So, in my Crochet Catch-Up playlist, there are 99 videos. This one will be the 100th Crochet Catch-Up. Oh my goodness me, what a number to come back on, right? So let's go all the way down to the bottom of that long list and see how long it has been since I have done a crochet catch-up. 3 months, guys. It may even be getting on closer to 4 months. Who knows? But yes, my last crochet catch-up, it tells me that it was made 3 months ago, according to my playlist. So, not only is Crochet Catch-Up back, it is episode 100 of this segment, and I didn't even know it. I like it when things like that happen. Anyway, Crochet Catch-Up is back because Max's Gut Choice ended last week, and I did say that I was going to have a break from specific projects or specific make segments on a Thursday for a bit because I did want to bring Crochet Catch-Up back. I really enjoyed showing you the variety of things that I have been focusing on for the past week or so. So, let's do it. I don't have too much to show, but there is enough for a video. So we're doing all right, everyone. So yes, as I was saying, Crochet Catch-Up was always my weekly video where I would round up all the crocheting I had managed to get done in the previous week. So I have actually, let's start with what else I've done with the charity donations. So, you know that I was making squares that I found a YouTube tutorial for. Sorry, I've got a really irritated nose. I do apologise. I had found an online tutorial for a rather pretty square. And I had made some of those squares for a super top secret special project that I cannot mention and cannot show. And they have actually been sent elsewhere now. So that is done. But I enjoyed making the squares, which is quite surprising considering Manfa doesn't really like puff stitches. Sorry, it's because I have a puff flower subscription box coming soon and I'm so excited. Anyway, goodness, squirrel much. Even though it's got puff stitches in it. But if you have seen my Fiber Artist Nopes tag from earlier in the week, I think it was Tuesday, you will hear me explain that I don't dislike them as much as I once did. So much so that, yeah, I've made loads more. And you may be thinking, so you're making squares with puff stitches in, which isn't a favourite, because it's still not a favourite. And you're making squares, even though you make it clear that you're not too keen on putting the squares together. Yes, I am. And I'm making 2 blankets out of said squares. I don't know what came over me at the beginning of 2025, but this is where we are, folks, and this is what we're doing. Now, the tutorial for the square that I am making, I will put in the description box for you. It's not someone that I'm over familiar with, but I absolutely love the square, so it is the one that I use. So feel free to check it out if you are interested in making them for yourself. And when we left off in the charity donation roundup video, I said that I had 4 more of the pink ones to make, and then I had all of the blues, and I'm trying to get 10 at least of each colour. There's variances, but we'll get onto that later in the whole charity project thing. So what did I manage to get done square wise? Well, I did get the 4 pinks done. Bearing in mind, guys, these do need blocking. Don't judge them on their wonky ruffliness because they will be blocked before I put them together. But here is the pink. So I did 1, 2. Oh my, it's been crumpled in my bag. Look at that. They'll be blocked. They'll straighten out. Don't panic. 2, 3, and 4. Am I showing you the back? Yeah. 4 of the pink. So all of the pink is done. Yay. Now I just have the blue ones to make, and then I can start putting them together. Now the yarn that I am using is an ice yarn. It is Softly Baby, and it is 50% acrylic, 50% polyamide. They are 100-gram balls. There's about 210 meters in them, so just a little bit more in yardage. Recommends 4mm needles. There's no hook recommendation. They are a DK or a lightweight 3, made in Turkey. Do not bleach. Wash up to 30 degrees Celsius. Do not iron. That is all of the info that is on the ball band. This is the blue, the soft baby blue. And this is the second skein that I have just taken a smidgy bit from, because I managed to get 1, 2, 3. So I've only got 7 more of these squares to make, and then I can start putting them together. How fabulous is that? I am inching ever closer to getting those 2 blankets put together and then mailed off to Christina over at Bella Uncinetto, one of my dearest, loveliest, oh, I love her to bits, friends. I will link her channel down in the description. If you are not familiar, you are missing out. I'm not just saying it because she's one of my besties. I'm saying it because she's a fabulous woman and has a fabulous channel, and you need to up your viewing game and go over and subscribe. Just saying. Yeah, I will be putting them together and sending them to Christina because Christina lives in Sicily, but she works on a US military base. She's a teacher on the US military base, and one of her friends has set up a military assistance group where they are putting together hampers for the mums on base that are expecting little bubbers, so that they've got something really lovely to gift and welcome the new bundles of joy into the world with. And one of the things that we can make for those hampers are baby blankets. So I have decided that I am going to get batches of 2 blankets made at a time, hence enough squares for those 2 blankets. Like I said, when I've put them together, I will package them up, I will send them to Christina, and then she can give them to her friend that is heading up this military assistance unit. It feels great making things for charity. There are things that I'm making for charity home here in the UK as well. But Sicily is in Europe. Europe is much closer to the UK than some of the charities I was helping out in the US. So it still costs a little bit in shipping, but it doesn't cost as much because, like I said, Europe is much closer to the UK. Christina is a dear, darling friend of mine as well. And because she wants to help her mate, I'm going to help her mate. So that is the plan for those squares. So 7 more, which I am pretty confident I can get done in the next week before next week's crochet catch-up. Let's see, because really a stretch goal would be to get the 7 made and at least one of the blankets sewn together. I don't quite think that's going to happen because I do work full time. I've got a house full of kiddos and lots of things off camera that take up a lot of my time. I don't get as much crochet time as I would like, and I think that is valid for a lot of us. So the stretch goal would be to complete the 7 and get 1 stitch together. A realistic goal would be to get the 7 done so that I can come back next week and show you that all of the squares are now made, and I can start putting them together for the crochet catch-ups that come after next week. So that is one little bit of my crochet for the week. It does mean that 2 more yarn labels for the pinks have gone in, and 1 label for the 1 blue that I've gone through. So I've gone through 2.5 skeins since we last saw this project. So this is eating up some of my yarn rather lovely. And when these 2 blankets are completed, there will be, I think, 19 yarn labels to put in my total for the year. So exciting. And a nice big chunk of my gorgeous collection used up, and it definitely counts for Craft Yourself Free, because this is bringing me joy to no end. I don't know if I will be as joyful when I'm putting the squares together, but it will give me joy to know that a worthwhile cause is benefiting from my hard work, and it will bring me joy that quite a lot of yarn has been used up. So yeah, 7 more to go, but I have just shown you 7. So the fact that I got 7 done in a week last time means that I should get the 7 done this week. That's if life allows, because we all know that life has a habit of getting in the way sometimes, so we will just see. But for those squares, I am using my 5mm dots. There we go. Now, I only have one other whip to show you, but it's quite an interesting and exciting whip. If you have been here at least since the start of the year, you will know that I have started a seriously low stress, no pressure collaboration with Christina. I've already discussed her. So she is obviously, her link is in the description box. Like I said, please go check her out. But we decided to resurrect Manfella. I'm Manfa and her channel name is Bella Uncinetto. So together we are Manfella. We have done prior collaborations together before. And actually it's me and Christina that are doing hashtag Craft Yourself Free as well. So me and Christina are like all up in each other's stuff at the minute. In a good way. But yes, we decided to resurrect Manfella, and we are doing Manfella Mals. And the way that Manfella Mals works is we picked 4 things that we wanted to focus on in our crafting for the year. We put those things into envelopes. We then let our kids pick the other ones first make. So basically, the 4 envelopes were spread on the table and mixed up, and Christina's little girl, Sparkle, she's not really called Sparkle, but on YouTube she is known as Sparkle. Sparkle picked the first project that I am going to make, and my Max picked Christina's first project that she is going to make. This means that we probably won't be working on the same things at the same time. It means that we will both have something different within the collaboration in our videos when we mention it. It gives you guys the freedom that if you wanted to make something similar alongside one or other of us, you have the freedom to do that. And if you like the thought of all 4, you can do one of them with Christina, one of them with me, whenever the projects fall that suit you best. But there is no pressure to join in, but it is open to those of you that do want to join in. So my first pick by the beautiful little Sparkle was the Asteria Doily. Now, to begin with, I was like, ooh, give me the most complicated, complex one right out the gate, Sparkle, why don't you? But then, reality kicked in and made me realise that I would get the most tricksy make done and dusted, which means that I have just potentially smaller, less complicated things for the rest of the year. Now, there are no time limits with these makes. Christina and I are just making them at a pace that suits us. That is how less stress, less pressure as we can be. We just know what we're making. If it takes me a week, marvellous. If it takes me a month, okay. If it takes me 6 months, whatever. I can take as long as I want to make mine, and she can make as long as she wants to make hers. When we complete the project that's been pulled, we let the other one know so that they can get their respective child to pick the next one. Okay, so here is the Asteria Doily. This is the challenge that has been given to me straight out the gate. It is absolutely gorgeous. Now, and you might want to take some notes, Christina, just saying. That pattern isn't worth the paper it's printed on, in my opinion. Now, to be fair, the designer or the person who wrote this pattern, I do not believe that English is their first language. Therefore, it's had to have been translated. We all know that things can get lost in translation. It is absolutely fine. But I really did struggle to wade myself through the written instructions, which is a little disappointing and frustrating to me because I do like a physical paper copy of the pattern. That's how I prefer to do my makes. Um, I can watch tutorials. I do watch tutorials. I do follow tutorials. But in an ideal world, I've either got a book or a magazine or a printed pattern, and I can have, all my YouTube friends' videos on my phone propped up as I'm stitching away and looking at my pattern over here, and then stitching away and watching what my friends are doing. That is just my ideal crafting kind of world. But if I have to follow a tutorial, I watch a little bit of my friend and I'm stitching. And then I have to stop my friend, go back to the tutorial, watch how they do the next round, pause the tutorial, go back to my friend. And I'm always flicking between the video tutorial and whatever video I'm watching on YouTube, which is not a massive problem, but it's just not the most idyllic way of crafting for me. However, because I was struggling with this one a little too much for my liking, I did type into YouTube Asteria Doily tutorial, and there are a few that come up, guys. I started watching one and I'm like, that isn't anything like what the pattern says, so I'm not too sure about this. So I carried on scrolling through the other tutorial videos that were on there, and I'm just typing it in now. It would help if I'm actually on YouTube, wouldn't it? Yes, Sam, it would. And I will tell you the tutorials that I am following. Oh my goodness, my brain just doesn't want to work today. Okay, so the channel that did the tutorial that I am following is Crochet Maha Basri. So crochet and then Maha is Maha and then Basri is Basry. I will link that channel in the description box, but I'll leave it up to you to find the tutorial because it is split into multiple parts. But at least I'll give you the channel link of where you can go and find them. There is no spoken instruction. The instructions appear in writing on the screen. And I found it better to watch what she was doing with her hand making the stitches. So I would read the instruction and then watch her hands, because sometimes what's written on the screen doesn't always correlate to what she's doing actually physically on the doily. So again, Christina, look out for that, because basically you just have to be hyper vigilant to make this thing. All right. It is not the easiest of patterns to follow along with, but I'm making my way through it. Okay. And for me, and this is a me thing, it is totally a me thing, but the music that they've got on in the background of every part of the tutorial I've watched so far is just played on a loop, and it drives me insane. The first part I managed to battle my way through, but the second part I had to turn the volume right down because that tune was just doing my head in. And that is a me thing. It is totally a me thing. No criticism to the lady doing the tutorial. No shade being thrown at all. That is totally a Manfa issue. Now, the other exciting thing that I need to divulge to you is I gave you guys the chance to vote on what yarn I will be using to make the doily. I gave you 3 options. I tallied up the votes and I said that I wasn't going to reveal what the colour or what the winning colour was going to be until I gave a progress update. There was 2 that were really, really close together. I think there was only a couple of votes in it. Let me see where I wrote the vote down for you. Yeah, so you had option 1, option 2, and option 3. Option 3 only got 2 votes when I tallied them up. But option 1 and option 2, there were only 2 votes in it, okay? Option 2 got 11 votes, but option 1 got 13. So option 1 was the winner, and that did actually make me very happy because option 1 was my favourite. If option 2 or 3 had won, I would have honoured that and made it in whatever won. I did not fix it or rig it in any way. But yes, it was this colourway that won out in the end. Got the beautiful corals, and it goes into like coral, peach, yellow, green, blue, and lavender. And I told you that if this was the winning colour, I would go from the coral on the outside into the lavender. This is obviously a full cake. I haven't broken into this cake, but it is Cotton Kings, Sultan, okay, and 100% cotton. Oh, which way round? That way round. There's all the stats for you guys. 200 grams, 7 ounces, 800 meters or 874 yards. 2.5 to 3.5 millimeter needles, 3.5 to 4 millimeter hook. It is a fine weight number 2. Wash up to 30 degrees. Do not bleach, do not tumble, do not iron. Dry clean using P. Made in India. And this one is color 29. And it's got the Ecotech standard there, as you can see. So yes, this was the winning option. Now, I hyper-focused on this project. So the progress that you're going to see today is 3 or 4 evenings worth. Bearing in mind, I only get an hour or 2 per evening. And I got to the point that I'm going to show you in a minute, and I thought I've got to put this down and I've got to do some other crochet ready for my crochet catch-up video. And I wanted a brain break. I wanted something a little bit more mindless on a couple of the evenings as well, which is why I went back to those squares that I've already shown you. But let's do the reveal in just a second. So the hook recommendation was what? It was a 3.5 to a 4. I am using my 3.5 millimeter dots. And this is where I'm at on the started cake. So you can see that I have used a nice little bit of it. Okay. And there is nothing left to do then to show you my progress. Now, obviously, this hasn't been blocked. I haven't had to tie in any ends I haven't tied in any ends because I've just been keep going. And I hope the colour shows up nicely for you. It will be blocked and it will be, much better when it is on a hoop. But here it is, guys. Here is my Asteria doily. So as you can see, we have the gorgeous coral in the center. We moved on, so there's the gorgeous coral. We moved on to the orange, and now we're in the even paler orange on the outside. Now, because it is a slow fade yarn, there aren't any harsh breaks where it does change colour, which I absolutely love, because if you know Manfa does occasionally try to push herself out of her comfort zone and let the yarn flow and not colour control. With this yarn, it is easy to do that because, like I said, it's a slow fade. There are no harsh colour breaks, and it just kind of blends out so subtly that I can cope with it. Unless you really look at this project, you are not going to see where those colour changes really came in. That is pleasing me greatly. And obviously, the further that I'm going out, guys, the bigger it's getting and the more yarn that I'm using. I don't know if this one singular cake will be enough. We will find out. There are 9 petal tiers and I have done 5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yes, I have done 5 out of 9. I have 4 more petal tiers to go, but each tier is made up of several rounds. This is what it looks like on the back. You can see that there is a lot of stitching there. But on the front, it is just absolutely gorgeous. I am so pleased with how this is coming out. But it was a bit of a melon scratcher from time to time. And, you know, like I said, I had to abandon the printed pattern completely and try and find a tutorial, but I still have to keep a close eye on that tutorial as well. So we're going to continue with the lighter orange until it runs out, and then we will very soon be going into the yellow, as you can see there. So that is the beginnings of my Asteria doily. I think that is an awful lot of work put into it already. Let's bring it up close so that you can see some of the petal rounds clearly. Again, this one's got popcorns in. So Manfa's doing puff squares and a popcorn doily. Who would have thunk it, guys? But they definitely have their place in this project because, you know, just the texture on this doily though is absolutely incredible. It is a gorgeous yarn to work with. Even though it's cotton, it's a squishy, lovely cotton. Occasionally I get a bit frustrated because my stitches do split, because it is how many? It is 4 strands and they're not twisted together. So sometimes your hook can split those strands and you have to pull that stitch out and start again. But that's okay. That's the nature of these types of cottons. I just have to slow down and, you know, redo. But yes, there we go. So Christina and Sparkle, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, if I get the time to work on it, because like I said, as it gets bigger, it takes longer to go around. But hopefully within, you know, the next month or so, let's give myself a, you know, an achievable target. I will be asking Sparkle to pick me another project because hopefully this one will be done. But I'm waiting to see how big it is complete before I buy a hoop, because I don't actually know how big it's going to be, because I am using a different yarn than what is recommended. So we will do the hoop after the fact. So there we go. You're all caught up in the last week of Manfa's crochet. How's your crochet week been, guys? Feel free to let me know down in the comments what you've managed to achieve. And even if you haven't even done one stitch, it doesn't matter, guys. This isn't a competition. We are not competing against anybody or each other. We are just crafting ourselves free, enjoying what we're making. I'm loving the charity projects that I'm making. I'm loving the Asteria now that I've found a tutorial that I can follow. Yeah, because it wasn't that nice and enjoyable at the beginning, and I'm just being honest. So yeah, that is it for this week's content as far as I'm aware. Please do enjoy the weekend coming up. Have you got any good plans? Let me know. And I shall be back next week for my usual Monday to Thursday content. But until then, stay safe, be kind, look after one another, get some good quality time in with your loved ones, and get some good quality crafting time in. I will see you in the next one or around the YouTube streets. Bye, guys. Love you loads.